Okay, so get ready for a wild story. We're diving into how a simple online fight over, of all things, fingernails, spiraled into a complete and total meltdown. We're talking a takedown so epic it literally stopped a man's demolition job in its tracks.
Yeah, this was way more than just a heated argument. As one person put it, it's a body in the street. We are talking about the complete and utter annihilation of an online identity.
You are not going to believe what started this whole thing. Seriously. It all kicked off with a bizarre obsession over fingernails. Yes, you heard me right. Fingernails. And believe me, it only gets crazier from there. So, let's meet our main character, LTC. Online, he's this self-proclaimed daddy African. You know, a real tough guy, all about tradition. But the story that was brewing behind the scenes? Well, some alleged DMs paint a very different picture. The hypocrisy here is just wow. LTC was going in on the narrator, mocking him relentlessly for having clean hands, and the narrator's comeback just cuts right to the chase. You're over here worried about my fingernails while you're allegedly doing this? So you can feel the tension building, right? And it's all about to explode. But here's the thing. Our narrator was completely unplugged. He was at his day job when the whole situation went nuclear. I mean, just picture this. You're on a construction site, you're literally tearing down walls with a sledgehammer, and then your phone buzzes. And that one little notification is all it takes to yank you right back into the online madness.
And that's when you know it's a game changer. The news he saw on his phone was so insane, so out of left field, he just dropped his sledgehammer. Mid-swing, probably. It was that serious.
So what was it? What was the big news? Well, a user named Morgan had just dropped an absolute bomb. A whole series of screenshots allegedly from LTC's private messages. And they were just brutal. And look, these weren't some vague rumors. The screenshots were incredibly specific. We're talking alleged messages showing LTC hitting up a 20-year-old woman, asking her for some very particular content, complete with the eggplant emoji. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And just like that, the internet just went into a total frenzy. LTC's whole tough guy act was completely torched. In the world of online beef, this was a TKO, a total knockout. So, how does LTC respond to all this? You'd think he'd deny it or try to explain, right? Nope. He went straight into damage control mode, trying to shut down the entire conversation. And his weapon of choice? The block button. He went on a rampage. In just 2 hours, he allegedly blocked at least 8 different people for just sharing the screenshots or even asking questions about them.
But it wasn't just LTC. Suddenly, all of his supporters, the Pan-Africans, who were always in the narrator's mentions, they went completely quiet. Total radio silence. Crickets.
But while LTC was busy playing whack-a-mole with the block button, our narrator was playing an entirely different game. See, this isn't just a random taunt. Oh no, it's a clue, a hint at a much bigger, much more calculated strategy. And this is where the story gets really interesting. Because it turns out the narrator isn't just a spectator here. He's been a player the whole time, a master strategist who knows exactly how this game is played. He lays out his entire secret weapon for us, a 5-step plan for getting his enemies wiped off the map. It's kind of ruthless, but you gotta admit, it's brilliant. You let them get all kinds of attention for trash-talking you, and then you just report them and watch them get banned. And then comes the big reveal. He admits it. He's been the guy behind the curtain for months, secretly getting his rivals suspended, including LTC himself. He's not just a trash talker, he's a silent assassin, using the platform's own rules against his enemies. Pow. So, after all the chaos, all the drama, what's the final judgment on LTC and his whole daddy African persona? What's the lesson here from this spectacular implosion? Well, the narrator has a new name for LTC, a fleer. Someone who talks a big game, but the second they're actually challenged, they run. And that frantic blocking spree? Yeah, that was all the proof anyone needed. He fled the scene. This wasn't just about one guy being a hypocrite. For the narrator, this whole thing proved that LTC and his entire crew were all talk. Their whole online identity was built on a foundation of sand, and it all just came crumbling down. This entire crazy story is just a perfect and honestly a hilarious reminder of how fake the internet can be. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? In this world of filters and curated profiles and tough guy avatars, is anyone really who they claim to be online? And what happens when that mask finally comes off?